Hi, my name is Erin and I'm from the All People's Fresh Market, and today we're going to be making zucchinis, which is just a fun way to say stuffed zucchini. So the first thing you need to do is prepare your zucchini. You're going to cut off the ends. You're going to cut it in half, and then you're going to scoop out the middle, and you're going to make sure that you don't scoop all the way to the edge, because you want to have a little bit of a lip in order to fill it up and it not fall out. So now the innards are still good, so you just put those in a bowl like this, and we're going to cook those in a minute. All right, then we do our other half, and in your kit you have 2 zucchini, so it should make enough for 4. Okay, all right, so now these are ready. I already did one earlier. Then we need to cut our onion. Basically, you cut off the ends like this. Be careful of your hands. You cut down the seam, and then you open it up so that you can get rid of the outer layer of the onion. Set that aside, and you just make sure all the skin is off. And onions, I know some people don't like onions, but they're very tasty when they're cooked, and you can decide what size to make them. For me, I'm going to just dice them, and that just means make kind of little squares. I'm going to cut up half the onion and cut along the ribs. Then I'm going to turn that whole side, and notice my hand is like a claw, and I'm making sure that I'm keeping the knife well away from my hand. Okay. And that's one half. And then the other. Then we're going to prepare our garlic. So you're going to get your garlic, kind of set your onions aside. And you're going to take the garlic. It looks like this, where it has a whole bunch of peel on it and things like that. You don't have to worry about it. All you do is put the edge of your knife on top of the garlic. It can be any knife that you have, and you just hit the edge. Then you'll notice that that actually releases the inner garlic. Release your inner garlic. Okay, and I'm going to cut off the tips. They're kind of rough edges, and get rid of that. And then I'm going to just chop this garlic up, and we're going to put this in with our onions when we're cooking, and it'll be very fragrant and delicious. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of oil in our pan. I'm going to get that. You can use any oil that you have. You're going to put your garlic and your onions and your zucchini innards in there. I'll be right back with you, and I'll show you how we cook that on the stove. Okay, we're back. We're going to turn this on to medium heat. And while we're doing this, I'm also going to turn my oven on to 350. And we're preheating that. Okay. And on my baking sheet, I have put the zucchinis and the pecans. We're going to toast these up while they're in the oven. Okay. Now our goal is to heat this up so the onions are cooked through. That means that they will look translucent, almost like you can see through them. And while this is happening, I want to show you one thing that I did ahead of time. I made the couscous, and it was extremely easy. Couscous is a grain, and basically you put the whole box in your bowl and add 2 cups of boiling water, or stock if you like, because this is going to be very flavorful, I just decided to go ahead and make it plain with just water. So I'm going to show you that. You put it in your bowl, pour the water over, stir it, and then cover it with a plate, and then in 5 minutes you have couscous that's already made. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. It's very fluffy. You just fluff it with a fork. And for this dish, I think we're going to use about half of the box. Oh, and those onions are starting to smell really good with that garlic. All right. Excellent. Stir this up. Oops, I got a whole clove in here by mistake. That happens when you're cooking. All right, and when I come back, I'm going to show you how to put it all together. Okay, and we're back. Now our onions are nice and translucent, along with our garlic and our zucchini innards. We're going to put that into our bowl with the couscous. Okay. Every little last thing is really good. All right. And now we're going to add our other ingredients. Okay. I have some black beans here. And basically I rinsed out the can and just have the beans so it doesn't have, it's kind of like a moistness to it. So this way it's just the beans. Put that in there. We're going to add our tomatoes. These are diced tomatoes. And we want to keep the juices in that because those are all delicious. We're going to stir this, and so it's really mixed well, because we're making the stuffing for our zucchinis. All right, now we're going to add our 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. It makes it very fresh and kind of with a little bit of tartness. All right. Get this out of the way. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our spray oil and spray the tops of the zucchinis just lightly. Okay. And then we are going to fill the zucchini with our mixture. You don't have to be neat about it. Okay. Then we're going to season it with salt, pepper, and I'm going to use some turmeric. Turmeric is a very healthy spice. Looks like we made too much of our stuffing, but you can stuff peppers with this. You can also freeze it to use it for another meal, so that's kind of a nice thing too. All right, so we're going to put some pepper, and this is up to you, to your taste buds. Some salt, okay, and some turmeric. You can also put paprika on here, or if you like hot, you can put some chili pepper, that kind of thing. We're going to put this in the oven, and it'll be for about a half hour. Then after that, we're going to crush these pecans and put them on top, and that will be a delicious treat. All right, and I'll be back with you in about a half hour. Okay, we have about 10 minutes before these are done. I took them out of the oven, and I took the pecans and I'm gonna crunch them up with my knife here. Notice how I have my hand on top of the knife and using it kind of with some leverage to cut it up. It's real easy because they're toasted to cut it up. You can kind of pile it up again and then cut it the other way. All right, and then once those are crunched up a bit, you're just going to put some on top of your zucchinis. And the last thing you're going to do is put some cheese on top and then let it bake for the last 10 minutes in the oven. And then you will have delicious zucchinis for dinner or lunch or a snack. All right. Enjoy, and thank you for joining me in my kitchen.